Cognizant, an essential subject from Vinipedia. The Bhagavata explains that the absolute truth is cognizant of everything. He has become cognizant as he is svar, fully independent. He has no need to learn. His knowledge is so perfect without taking knowledge from anybody. That is real God. Srila Prabhupada's books, lectures, conversations and letters offer a comprehensive presentation of this essential subject as seen in the Vinikote's cognizant category. An introduction from his books is given below in the following 11 quotes. Quotes from Srila Prabhupada's books. By full cognizance it is meant that one should know about his own constitutional position as well as the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to R.V. Van Thakakravart H. Kura, in this verse Lord Vu is describing himself, or the Paramtiyam. The Paramtiyam is always distinguished from the embodied soul as well as the material world. Therefore he has been described as Para. That Para, or Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Eka, meaning one. The Lord is one, whereas the conditioned souls embodied within the material world exist in many varieties of form. Armad Bhagavatam 4.20. 7. Since the complete whole, or the absolute truth, is the source of everything, nothing is independent of him. In one sense, everything that exists is the body of the absolute truth. Any action or reaction of a part of a body becomes a cognizable fact to the embodied soul. Similarly, since the creation is the body of the absolute truth, then everything in the creation is known to the absolute, both directly and indirectly. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Chapter 23. The material activity of the living being is beginningless, but it can be rectified by transferal into the spiritual quality. Thus it can cease its material qualitative reactions. Both the Lord and the living entity are cognizant, and both have the sense of identification, of being conscious as a living force. But the living being under the condition of material nature, called Mahatattva, misidentifies himself as being different from the Lord. Armad Bhagavatam 1.15. 27. Lord Brahma is the first living being, who directly learned the Vedic wisdom from the Lord. Teen Brahma HD Yadi Kava, SB 1.1.1. Therefore, who can be a more learned Vedantist than Lord Brahma? He admits that in spite of his perfect knowledge in the Vedas, he was unable to know the glories of the Lord. Since no one can be more than Lord Brahma, how can a so-called Vedantist be perfectly cognizant of the absolute truth? Armad Bhagavatam 2.6. 35. The living entities are predominated Brahman, whereas the Supreme Lord is the predominating Absolute. As soon as we forget this clear fact, we are at once in illusion, and thus we are put into threefold miseries, as one is put into dense darkness. The clear consciousness of the cognizant living being is God consciousness, in which one bows down unto him in all circumstances. Armad Bhagavatam 1.11. 6. To be fully absorbed in the thought of Ka means clearance of material dirts or hankerings. As a very rich man has no hankerings for small petty things, so also a devotee of Lord Ka, who is guaranteed to pass on to the kingdom of God, where life is eternal, fully cognizant and blissful, naturally has no hankerings for petty material things. Armad Bhagavatam 1.6. 27. A pure devotee of the Lord, being cognizant of the facts of the particular time, object and circumstances, always desires to expand the number of devotees of the Lord in various ways. Such expansions of transcendental service may appear to be material to the materialist, but factually they are expansions of the causeless mercy of the Lord towards the devotee. Armad Bhagavatam 3.9. 34. To spread Kaya consciousness, one need only be cognizant of the science of the spirit soul. It does not matter whether one is a Brahma, a Kshatriya, Vaya, Dra, Sannyas, Jihasta or whatever. If one simply understands this science, he can become a spiritual master. Chaitanya Karitam Ta, Madhya LL 8.128. One should not think that he is the proprietor, benefactor, friend or enjoyer. He should always be cognizant that the real enjoyer is Ka, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the basic principle of Bhakti Yoga. Armad Bhagavatam 3.27. 5. Only the devotees of the Lord can know him to a considerable extent, and no one else can know him at all, so the devotees are perfectly cognizant of all spiritual knowledge. The personality of Godhead is the last word in absolute truth. Armad Bhagavatam 1.3. 39. In the material world we have no experience of eternity, bliss and fullness of knowledge. But in the spiritual world, because of the complete absence of the qualitative modes, everything is eternal, blissful and cognizant. Everything can speak, everything can move, everything can hear, and everything can see in fully blessed existence for eternity. Kaitanya Karatam Ta, DLL 5.22